This is a provisional cast on using waste yarn, which is a smooth cotton yarn, a crochet hook, and my knitting needle. So you start with a slip knot. If you're comfortable with your crochet hook, this is going to be a piece of cake. You're going to put your yarn like you were going to crochet a chain, only you're going to pick up your needle, and the yarn, the working yarn, is behind the needle. Take your hook and draw a loop through. Oops, like that. Keep it on there though. Then you're going to move the yarn to the behind the needle again, and I'm referring to this part is in front of the needle and this part back here behind the needle. Draw another loop through, move the yarn behind, another loop, put the yarn behind, another loop, behind, another loop. So what you're doing is you're creating 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stitches so far. You have a nice little chain here. So let's say our pattern said to cast on 6 stitches. We would be done. We would clip the yarn, chain a couple more stitches, 1, 2, and then the easiest thing to do is put a stitch marker, and I love these little pin stitch markers, in the loop so that it doesn't pull out, and you're ready to go. So that's casting on with a crochet hook. So before I start knitting and demonstrate knitting, I'm going to demonstrate, in case you are not a crocheter or you don't have crochet hooks handy and you decide to do a provisional cast on. So again, we're going to make the slip knot, and we know it's a slip knot because it'll pull out. And I'll leave the loop big enough to get my fingers through. I'm going to take my working yarn again, put it behind the needle just like I did with a crochet hook, but instead of using a crochet hook, I'm going to use my fingers to pull up the first loop. And you can see where this is going. I'm going to tighten that up, get it tight. Takes a little work to get it tight. Then I'm going to proceed to put on my 6 stitches. 2, yarn in back, using my fingers. 3, goes much smoother after you get that first stitch done. 4, 5, 6, and then again I'm just going to chain a couple. 1, 2, you can even do 3 if you feel like it. Pull the loop smaller, put my pin in, pull the loop tight, and clip my yarn. And there you have a provisional cast on chain. So now I'm going to start knitting. So if my project called to begin knitting the first row, and I'm demonstrating knitting continental. However, if you're a person who wraps with your right hand, you could put your yarn in your right hand, and I'll knit the last 3 stitches the other way. So you can just see it's your regular knitting now. Tighten that up a little bit, and that's a provisional cast on. So this white yarn is called waste yarn. It will be coming out at later on in your pattern. Depending on when your pattern tells you, they'll tell you when to pull it out and what to do after you pull it out.